Alrighty, the level 53 Blue Mage quest is called Something Borrowed, Something Blue, given to us by Martyn in Ul'dah, in his usual spot. Here we go. Oh, that's the look of someone who stared down a Yeti or three. Now, sorry, you need level 53, and you need to have learned Northerlies, an ice spell from Yetis, in an area at level 53 you probably actually should not be able to access yet, because you have to be able to fly to get there. There might be some Yetis that you don't have to fly to get to them, but Blue Mage is also kind of a job you do like a little bit later, so maybe you've already got flying in those zones, and maybe you're already level 80 on your main class, whatever, but anywho. Oh yeah, that's the look of someone who stared down a Yeti or three. Now that you've mastered Northerlies, you're a step closer to reaching my level. And like I mentioned before, I want you to help me train a couple of fledgling Blue Mages. Remember the pair who were practically begging you to teach them? It looks like they'll finally get their wish. I'll meet you over in Hammerlea. I have... So, just briefly, just super quickly, Northerlies. It's very obvious, like, yeah, right. This will do 220 potency in a cone before you of ice damage, 50% for, like, it'll do 220 to the first thing hit, and then 50% less to the remaining enemies that are hit. The coolest thing about it is that 220 is actually good potency for a lot of levels, a lot of levels. The coolest thing about it is it will freeze enemies that are affected by dropsy. So what you would do, dropsy is a water damage over time, so you would do Aqua Breath, which you can get from Leviathan pretty easily, which gives a 12-second duration dropsy, and then you pop on over to Northerlies to freeze them, and then if you want to, you can do a dragon's, not dragon song, what's it called? The dragon's voice. So you move away from them far enough to where they'll be hit by the donut the dragon's voice makes. And that does 400 potency to things that are frozen. And paralyzes them for 9 seconds. And paralyzes an amazing effect. Even though I had this option available to me, it never became a thing. Because it requires, so the freeze is longer than Ram's voice, so it's a 20-second freeze versus the 12 from Ram's voice. It removes dropsy, so you don't get that extra damage. I'm sure there are fun builds, and then obviously if you do Ultra Vibration, which I haven't actually tried to use yet, I think I got it. Yeah, there's a Blue Academy channel on YouTube, and he talks about vibe checking, and that is where you can possibly just KO something that is deep frozen or petrified. So I haven't really tried it yet. I kind of wonder if that's a good level. Oh, because it's not a really good leveling strategy, except for maybe like the final, if you're trying to get to chain 5, maybe the final, the fifth, the sixth, technically the sixth monster you kill is chain 5. Maybe. I don't know. I find missile works pretty well for that. 2 missiles, maybe 3, usually gets them down to about 25% health, and you can kill them pretty quickly after that in that 20-second window. But I haven't leveled in a little bit on this class, so I'll have to figure out what my leveling strategy will be when I try again. The fastest way to get here is probably, I don't know the fastest way to get there, but I'm just gonna take the Ethernet over to the Thaumaturge Guild and then just run. Boom, 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 sprint. And then you just exit to the west. So you run north, exit west. For those who are listening and not viewing due to sight issues or whatever reason, the outer ring of Thanolin, sorry, Ul'dah, it's a ring. So you kind of run up and then, yeah, that's not a really good explanation. Anyway, we fly west to Scorpion Crossing, where we talk to, is it Ime? No, that's not right. Ime has another quest. I don't want her. To the northwest of Scorpion Crossing is Martyn. I pronounced these P'yandih and Nutiba. Nutiba's easy to pronounce, I think, but P'yandih. I spelled it out in the previous video for this class. Normally getting these two to do any serious training is a bloody uphill struggle, but as soon as I mentioned you'd be coming along, they couldn't get here fast enough. I thought they should see some practical blue magic, away from all the showmanship of the masked carnival, so I borrowed this arena Viking for you to demonstrate a few spells. Go easy on it, though. Eh? I've got to give it back, you see? Okay. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll set it to lightly maim. Okay. Listen, you two, don't spend the whole time gopping, all starry-eyed like. Pay attention to which spells Mercy uses and when. I don't really have a leveling set on right now, so what would I do? I can't get Etheric Mimicry this easily, unless there's somebody... I probably won't need it. So what I'm going to do for this is... I'm going to Bristle. It's probably going to be very easy. We'll see, actually. You know, I'm curious. We'll see. Can I at least get like a DPS job to do Etheric Mimicry on? Alright, cool. That's fine. There's nothing. Cool. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. Do I not have this in my repertoire? Oh, that was for something else. Cool. I said cool. I've said cool a lot here. Get Bristle ready. Come on then, you bucket of bolts. Now this is very easy. So we're gonna do Whistle, Tingle, Triple Trident. Oh, we only really needed one of those tridents. Probably didn't need to do any of that at all. Actually, I probably could have just done Electrogenesis a couple times, but... Haha, just like I taught you. The Nutiba, the Lalafell lady. Such fluid movements, and your footwork was a sight to behold. It didn't stand a chance. You kept attacking and attacking until it was a smoking pile of scrap, says P'yandih. Yes, very impressive. We'll talk about this later, Mercy, he says in parentheses. I think that's more than enough for the time being. Back to Ul'dah, everyone. Well, it's not a whole lot of teaching that has just happened here, but... But I did teach the young ladies that the Whistle, Tingle, if you want to do... So, Whistle, Tingle... Tingle is a less than 2 second cast. The global cooldown is 2.5 seconds, which means that this off global cooldown, off guard, which increases the damage taken by 5%, you can do that basically as Tingle is being cast, as like the end of Tingle's cast. You'll get this cast off in less than a second, and then Triple Trident. I usually follow it up with 4 Super Nakas, and then you can actually, I have Feather Rain on a macro that it's targeted instead of having to click ground target it. So I do Whistle, Tingle, Off Guard, Triple Trident, 4 Super Nakas, Feather Rain, Shock Strike, Quasar, Magic Hammer. And that's about it. And then I just go to Goblin Punching, and I might have to refresh Song of Torment at that point. But that is the most damage I think I can currently do to things that can't be hit by Missile, Tailscrew, Doom, etc. I highly prefer Missile over the other two, Tailscrew and Doom, because it has a much higher likelihood of hitting. Tailscrew would be my preference over Doom because it would, assuming they hit with the same percentage chance. What am I doing? then tail screw followed by some some super quick cast like not Quicksilver. What's it called? The one with the wind. The one with the wind. If you're in melee, sharpen knife because it's super quick, or Sonic Boom. That's what it's called. You can maybe actually a flying sardine would probably kill him, and it's instant. So tail screw until they hit 1 HP, because that's what tail screw does. It drops the target down to 1 HP if it is successful. Obviously, there are plenty of monsters that are not susceptible to it. Just like, and if they're not susceptible to that, then they can't be hit by Doom or Missile. But the percent chance of a successful cast on something that can be hit by it is much higher for Missile. And Missile just cuts the target's current hit points in half. Anyway. Alright, talk to Martyn to complete this quest. I sent Nutiba Buntiba and P'yandih off on a couple errands for the guild, but they'll be here soon. And we have a cutscene. Sorry, hold on. Gods be good. Those are not the fees that we agreed upon, says Nutiba. P'yandih nods. Mammoths and guest instructors don't come cheap, you know. And besides, a few extra gil will seem like small change once you're fully fledged blue mages. You won't regret this, I promise. They are frustrated, but they hand over the gil. That's more like it. If you follow the example set by Mercy and myself, you'll be putting down ferocious beasts left, right, and center. Now return to your training, my faithful apprentices. He points to me. They both turn and bow. And they walk away. Bloody hells, what do they think I'm running here? A charity? My options are, I didn't realize you charged for these lessons of yours. Or, shut up and give me my cut. I didn't realize you charged for these lessons of yours. I cross my arms. How else do you think I keep the guild afloat? And I'll have you know, the rates are perfectly reasonable, especially considering all the unforeseen expenses, in quotes. You'll get your share, don't worry. Or don't you worry. More importantly, something else has come to my attention. My apprentices ain't the only ones who go off looking for enemies to test their skills on. As everyone knows, adventurers often band together and go delving into abandoned catacombs, haunted mansions, and the like. They'll normally decide beforehand who does what, according to their areas of expertise. One to lead the way and draw out the beasties, a couple more for general stabbing, burning, and so on, and maybe someone to see to any mangled limbs and gaping wounds. In other words, they all have a certain role to fill. But when I heard that groups of blue mages had been doing just as well without specializing in any particular role, I was thrilled to bits. Why? Because this can only mean one thing. Blue mages can do everything. We can do a lot. Attacking, defending, healing, you name it. Of course, we knew that already, but I had never thought about using blue magic outside of one-to-one combat. I've asked the guild members to write a report each time they go exploring as a group, so I can formulate new strategies for working alongside others. Even P'yandih and Nutiba Buntiba might have something interesting to tell me next time we meet. Mind you, those two have taken to blue magic like cats, and Popotos to water. What? Oh, not very well, in other words. That's why... Popotos don't like water? That's why I'll be taking them for more training, and I'd like you to join us. Until then, I want you to learn Whistle. Not the put your lips together and blow sort. I mean the blue magic spell. Now go. And my annoyingly capable apprentice. We get 12,285 experience points, 848 gil. My cut, apparently. I give him a shrug as the cutscene is coming to an end. Obviously, I've already told you I've learned Whistle, because that's part of the amazing 1, 2, 3 combo. And then 4, 5, 6, sorry. Anyway, cool. So that's it for this video. I will see you next time for whatever you watch next. Bye-bye for now.